Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
And I'm Steve Wilkes.
Today we're going to do 2 all-grain pale ales that have only been boiled for 30 minutes.
Jeez.
You know, we are challenging
pushing the envelope
tenet
here
of brewing where, you know, when you start all-grain brewing, they say you got to boil all-grain beers for 30 minutes because 60 minutes, you're right.
Yep.
Because
Morley Safer would be mad at you if you said that.
Well, Morley Safer would say, "Gotcha,
gotcha."
But you got to boil all grain worts for 60 minutes because you've got to do protein coagulation. You've got to do wort sanitization, which is still important. Mm-hmm. You've got to do hop utilization, which is also important, and you've got to do evaporation and all these things that you got to do. You've got to boil all grain worts for 60 minutes, at least 60 minutes, if not 90.
You know, that was decided at the Council of Nicaea in 384. Constantine brought all the bishops together.
I did not know that.
It's true. It's a little known fact.
Well, if you'll remember on the audio podcast, Basic Brewing Radio, a little while back, we took part in an experiment with Marshall Schott, the brewlosopher, and go to brewlosophy.com to see his blog and go to our audio podcast to hear that. But we did a blind experiment with a beer that had been boiled for 60 minutes and the same recipe compensating for water loss that had been boiled for 30 minutes, and we couldn't tell the difference, or we had a very difficult time telling the difference. Yep. So
I had a 6-pack of PBR right before then. I wasn't supposed to say that, was I?
No.
Okay.
But you thought each one of those PBRs was different. So.
I did. I could have sworn they were all Coors banquet beers.
It's a champagne of beers. Okay, so anyway, so I said let's do a couple of pale ales, an American pale ale and an English version, and test this out. Let's only boil for 30 minutes and let's see what happens. So we at the same time, we did a video, an instructional video showing how to use the high gravity.
That's right.
High gravity home brewing supplies out of Tulsa.
Yeah.
Let us use and let me have an electric brewing system, brew in a bag system. So we did a video explaining how to use this system. You can find that on youtube.com/high-gravity-brew.
Boy, and it's sweet, too.
If you're interested.
Really, I mean, it's sweet. Like, boy, do I wish I had one.
Okay. No, but it's really cool. So we took that opportunity to brew both of these beers on that system. So, so the ingredients for the American version was easy: 11 pounds or 5 kilograms of 2-row, and then at the beginning of the boil, which would be 30 minutes, 1 ounce of Simcoe hops for 30 minutes or 28 grams, 1 ounce of Amarillo for 10 minutes, and 1 ounce of Cascade for 5 minutes. And then I fermented with the USO5. And then for the English version, I did 10 pounds or 4.5 kilograms of Golden Promise, and half a pound or 226 grams of 20 Lovibond Crystal, and then only boil for 30 minutes, 1 ounce or 28 grams of EKG or East Kent Goldings for 30 minutes, 1 ounce or 28 grams of UK Fuggles for 5 minutes. And then I used a Windsor yeast. So the test is, will a 30-minute boil just completely screw up your all-grain beer? So why don't
we're about to find out.
Why don't we crack open and pour these beers using the Basic Brewing bottle opener, which is, we got a brand new shipment of them.
Yes.
So they're for sale on the website, basicbrewingshop.com.
And, you know...
So this is my American.
This is your American. This is the 30-minute
Now these are
American.
bigger glasses than normal, so
yeah, no kidding.
Gauge appropriately. Ooh, what a pretty beer. That's my American.
I'll get the.
So you shorted yourself a little bit there.
Oh, that's okay. I've had enough to drink today for both of us. This is the English twist and shout.
Well, yes. You don't have to twist, but...
Well, I twist.
Okay, so that's the English.
This is the English.
Woo! That's good. A good head on the shoulders.
Careful out there among them English. What movie is that from?
I don't know.
Witness.
Okay. You gonna raise a bar in here in a minute? Wow.
That's right.
I guess we'll taste the American first.
Oh! There's significant head retention.
Or at least production. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. Get your American. Now, what we're looking for with a shorter boil is probably one of the things that you need to do with a boil is to boil off DMS precursors. And DMS will give you a corny off flavor. So the test is to see whether you get a corny off flavor from this beer or any other negative stuff. Here.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Boy, I did trip myself.
Ooh.
It's good.
Citrusy.
Very citrusy.
Citrusy. Fruity.
Yep. I'm not getting anything too corny. There's a little ishkabibble in there. Perhaps some Henny Youngman.
I tell you what. Hey, Aunt. No, that's another thing.
That's right. What do you think of red china? I love it on a yellow tablecloth.
No, I don't find anything wrong with this at all.
There's not enough of it.
This is true. Well,
There's no corn flavor in it. It's a great little beer.
Yeah.
Tell me again. I'm sorry. I'm forgotten what's going on in here.
Well, it's
So
got
some
Simcoe,
Simcoe,
Amarillo, and
Cascade,
Cascade.
yeah.
Now, it's been a while since it's been in the bottle for over a month. So, I mean, when this was fresh, it was like,
Yeah.
woo!
Yeah.
The fresh hops in your face.
Yeah.
But as we've learned, hoppy beers don't age that well, even for, a short period of time.
They don't. That's a nice beer, though. That's one honking big glass.
It is.
I mean,
It's to make us look smaller.
that's right. This is like the Hogwarts. I think Hagrid had one of these, and
You could shake a lot in that. All right.
okay.
So, that beer is good.
That's the American.
The American style pale ale, only boiled for 30 minutes. Now, here's the English. Get the
good.
big heady one.
Yep.
The English.
I call this Headley Lamar.
That's right. Cheers. Boy, it's a big frothy head.
Yeah, it is.
Now, it's not as hoppy
Nope.
as the first one.
It's not.
Wasn't intended to be. It's a little more kind of earthy.
It takes me back to the Cotswolds.
I don't know what that means.
In my days, I was a veterinarian, traveling around.
Is this a riff on All Creatures Great and Small?
Well, it could be.
Our English viewers will answer in on that. But with the Golden Promise, you have to worry about DMS precursors even less because it is kilned to a darker, a slightly darker color temperature than the US 2-row.
I just smacked.
Don't do that. We'll get notes. We could shave with that.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like Burma shave. Do you have a preference?
Well, I like the hop character of the American, which is predictable. But
Yeah.
this makes the English ale turned out to be only 4.2% alcohol. The American started out at 1048, ended at 1010, so it's probably about 5 or so. So the English one is more like a mild
It really is.
and would be extremely refreshing and interesting as a session beer. Conducive to conversation.
Do you have any bangers and mash? I'm kind of little toad in the hole. I'm kind of craving some toad in the hole right now.
That's what. Never mind.
Never mind.
So what do you think? I mean, a 30-minute boil for an all-grain batch of beer sounds like a thing to try. You'd have to compensate by raising the amount of bittering hops that you would add at the beginning of that 30-minute boil.
You would, yes. But I think an experiment is in the offing, because I would like to brew one of these beers with a 60-minute boil and a 30-minute boil and then taste them.
Right.
Because otherwise I got nothing to bounce off of.
Which is kind of what we did with the Brewlosifer
That's true.
experiment.
You're right, we did.
So he started adding hops at 30 minutes so that the
and then a 6-hour boil. So you just have this much work left.
It's just like maple syrup.
Boys are good though.
Would you like some on pancakes?
That's right. These are great beers. If there's no significant difference, that I don't think that there would be. I really, in my deep research over 40 years of drinking beer.
Holy smokes!
Well, yeah, that's what the Pope smokes,
Holy smokes!
Yeah. I don't know that there's any advantage.
But they're not. I mean, they're not. The protein situation is not any different from average homebrew. It's not like these look like Hefeweizens. They're fairly clear.
Boy, this English guy is really growing on me. I'm gonna have to buy a new shirt.
You have your little mini me there.
I lost a little weight, and now you're putting it right back on me.
That's my job. All right. Well, if you try the technique, let us know. Or if you've been doing it for a long time, let us know that as well.
But you've also got a 15-minute ale.
But that's an extract version. So then maybe the next step is to do the 15-minute ale recipe with an all-grain wort instead of the extract. Oh, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right.
More mead.
Cheers. We have work to do.
We have work to do. Wow.
Happy brewing, everybody.
Happy something or other.
Brewing Back America. Cheers.
Come and visit us on the web. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archive lists of both our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs, Extract Brewing and Partial Mashing, Stepping into All Grain, Low-Tech Lagering and Decoction Mashing, Introduction to Wine Kits, and our Basic Brewing Brewer's Logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Write to James at basicbrewing.com, Steve at basicbrewing.com, or just use the contact form on basicbrewing.com.
We'll leave it at that.